Hello, today we will talk about how get rid of belly fat. Belly fat is constantly scolded for how it interferes with looking good with beautiful attire, but there is something worse. When white fat spreads to the abdomen and penetrates between the organs, you are doomed to have serious health problems. We know that this type of fat, called visceral, or internal, fat, is metabolically active and activates the stress hormone cortisol and inflammatory substances, called cytokines that affect the body's production of insulin. The results are more terrible than just being overweight: increased risk of type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, stroke, some cancers and even dementia. Unfortunately, women are more likely to carry weight on their abdomen than on their hips or thighs. Sometimes the genes are to blame. Maybe your mother's figure was apple-shaped. Abdominal fat can also increase due to menopause, or in women with polycystic ovary syndrome. Even some lifestyle habits, from lack of sleep to stress, can be the cause of a growing belly. To get rid of fat in the abdomen, first talk to your doctor about other possible causes of weight gain, and then you can develop fat loss strategies. Problem? Internal fat is not noticeable. But don't lose hope. You can still incorporate strategies into your life to help get rid of total fat, which will benefit your belly. After all, nothing else helps to get rid of fat as much as a healthy diet, sports and daily lifestyle changes. A slimmer belly of dreams is always achievable, but it takes time and dedication. Commit to these habits, and you won't even notice how the pounds start to melt. Burn them with intense cardio training. Visceral fats can be liked for one thing: they easily succumb to aerobic exercise. Burning calories while running, cycling, swimming, any method that speeds up your heart rate is an effective way to reduce your tummy. A 2011 study by Duke University Medical Center, published in the American Journal of Physiology, found a golden point: 24 kilometers a week burn internal fat better than strength training 3 times a week. However, both types of exercises have been helpful in reducing abdominal fat, the researchers said. Exercise with weights. Of course, high-intensity cardio training helps burn calories, but we also need to lift weights to strengthen and grow the muscles that speed up metabolism. This is because strength training is one of several activities that can help you increase your calorie burn, even after you finish your workout. A review of a 2012 study found that while a 20-minute strength workout helps you burn 200 calories, your increased metabolic rate remains an hour after your workout, which helps you burn an extra 50 calories. In addition, when you lose weight, you also lose some muscle, so growing and maintaining lean muscle mass will help you achieve muscle tone. Again, internal fat is impossible to see, but exercise for all muscle groups should help improve problem areas and increase overall weight loss, which will help to lose weight. Walk every day. It is very important to devote a few days a week to challenging workouts, but exercise should not be limited to them. Think about it: 1 hour you spend moving will not pay off the 8 hours you spend sitting at your desk, especially if your goal is to get rid of fat. One easy way to add more movement to your daily routine is to take daily walks. A study published in the Journal of Exercise Nutrition and Biochemistry found that obese women who walked 50 to 70 minutes 3 times a week for 12 weeks significantly reduced their visceral fat levels compared to the sedentary control group. It seems so simple, but a 45 to 60-minute fast walk every day can work wonders for metabolism. Samora Gonzalez, head coach at New York's Crunch Fitness Club, recently told Prevention. In addition, it ensures that you do not overdo your workouts, which can lead to overproduction of cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone that contributes to the accumulation of fat in the abdomen. Take protein very seriously. You keep hearing that chicken, Greek yogurt, and eggs are amazing because they are high in protein. But why is that so important? First of all, your body is dependent on protein, which is rich in essential amino acids, as it helps to heal the small tears in muscle tissue caused by strength training, which is how muscles grow and strengthen. In addition, the body digests proteins longer than carbohydrates, so you feel fuller for longer and do not feel the urge to have a snack all the time. Weight loss requires more protein to prevent hunger, prolong satiety, and reduce muscle loss if you're just physically active, said Tom Refi, Doctor of Medical Sciences, of the Henry Ford Health System in Detroit, and the Director of Weight Control Medicine. As for the elimination of belly fat, science confirms the above. One study, published in the Journal of Nutrition, involved overweight men and women. They were instructed to follow a high-protein diet, 30% protein, 40% carbohydrate, 30% fat, or a high-carbohydrate diet, 15% protein, 55% carbohydrate, 30% fat. After a year of losing and maintaining weight, the researchers found that the high-protein diet lost 21% more weight and 27% more fat than the high-carb diet. One easy way to supplement your daily protein intake is, with organic protein powder. You can add them to grated smoothies, foods, or snacks that are usually low in protein. Make sure your refrigerator contains high-protein foods, such as cottage cheese, fish and lentils. Choose the right fat. Saturated fat is more likely to precipitate visceral fat than polyunsaturated fat, according to a 2014 Swedish study. When subjects consumed 750 calories more in the form of palm oil, saturated fat, or sunflower oil, polyunsaturated fat, daily for 7 weeks, the former gained more visceral fat, while the latter gained more muscle and less fat. The authors of the study believe that different types of fat consumed affect how our body forms and stores fat. In addition, the inclusion of healthy fats in the daily diet makes food richer and the feeling of satiety lasts longer. Recent research has shown that saturated fats can be added in moderation to a healthy diet, but it is important to monitor how much high-fat food you are consuming. Hard healthy fats can be found in nutrient-rich products like nuts, seeds, avocados, and fatty fish like salmon or tuna. Say goodbye to stress. Stress causes chaos in every part of the body and can lead to acne, joint pain, headaches and even increased belly fat. This is because when you experience stress, your body produces more cortisol, the bad hormone you hear so often. Studies show that cortisol not only increases appetite, but also sends fat to the abdomen, according to a review published in the journal Obesity. So if you've been feeling tense lately, find time to relax, and it doesn't matter, it's 30 minutes spent reading a book, cooking, or relaxing in a hot tub. Any physical exercise is beneficial, but yoga can be especially effective because of the consciousness meditation that goes into it. In one 2012 study, obese menopausal women who practiced yoga for 16 weeks had a significant reduction in weight, fat content, body mass index, waist circumference, and even visceral fat. If you don't like yoga, any relaxation exercises will help you relax, even a simple deep breath. Give priority to sleep. Regular sleep of just 5 hours increases visceral fat, according to a 2010 study by Wake Forest University. In addition, when analyzing 28 different studies, researchers in the UK found that people who sleep 5.5 hours or less consume 385 extra calories the next day, compared with those who sleep 7 to 12 hours. As if that weren't enough, low sleepers choose fatty foods full of empty calories, such as potato chips. The authors of the study believe that lack of sleep forces the body to produce more hunger hormones, such as ghrelin, and less satiety hormones, such as leptin. This means you feel hungrier and have a harder time controlling your unquenchable hunger when it gets stuck. Adults should sleep 7 to 9 hours a night, according to the National Sleep Foundation. But don't sleep for too long on the weekends. Women who get up every day and go to bed at the same time are less fat, according to a study by Brigham Young University in Utah, which involved more than 300 women. Chaotic sleep habits disrupt your internal clock and cause your body to start producing more hormones that promote fat accumulation, such as cortisol. Good news? Try not to stray from your normal sleep pattern for more than an hour, the study's authors say. A difference of more than 90 minutes between getting up and lying down is associated with an increase in fat. Try apple cider vinegar. There is a good reason why people are crazy about using apple cider vinegar for slimming. Some studies have shown that it contributes little to weight loss. For example, in a 2009 study, researchers gave 144 obese adults a day to take a placebo or 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar for 3 months. They saw that people who drank 2 tablespoons lost almost 2 kilograms and those who drank 1 tablespoon lost 1.25 kilograms. Others? They gained weight. One of the theories is that acetic acid in vinegar produces proteins that burn fat, explains Pamela Peake, Doctor of Medical Sciences, a professor of public health at the University of Maryland and author of Fight Fat After 40. Still, there are very few studies confirming that apple cider vinegar is a magical weight loss elixir. However, a drink can be a great addition to your diet if you already eat healthy and exercise often. Some studies show that people who sip apple cider vinegar experience smaller spikes in blood sugar after a meal, which helps control their appetite. If you want to try this drink, be sure to consult a specialist so that you do not harm your health and do not experiment in any way. Give up alcohol. To lose weight, you only need to consume fewer calories, but this becomes difficult when you start suffering from hunger. One good plan for an attack is to forget about empty calories that don't help you reach your goals, so there will be room for food that helps you achieve your goals. It's all about sweetened drinks, carbonated and not only, but it's mostly about alcohol. Studies show that frequent alcohol consumption, even in small amounts, is the cause of weight gain. Not only is the drinks themselves high in unnecessary calories, when you start sipping too much, resistance decreases, according to one 2016 study. The result? It will be harder to resist pizza in the middle of the night. Cook for yourself. According to a 2017 study, time spent in the kitchen will help get rid of fat in the abdomen, as long as you use the right products. Analyzing data from more than 11,000 men and women, researchers in the UK found that people who ate more than 5 servings of home food a week were 28% less likely to have a high BMI and 24% less likely to have too much fat than those who took too much. Ate only 3 servings of homemade food a week. Researchers explain that people who cook for themselves are more likely to have other healthy habits, such as exercising more. However, the researchers concluded that homegrowners simply ate more fruits and vegetables, and their diets were much more varied, their cooking methods were healthier, and they spent less money on high-calorie foods and sugar. Try fasting with breaks. Intermittent starvation has become very popular in recent years, but researchers are only now beginning to understand how it can help get rid of unwanted weight. In a study by the University of Illinois at Chicago, the researchers compared obese people in a traditional weight loss group and a fasting group. During the experiment, participants in the calorie restriction group reduced their daily caloric intake by 25%. However, the starving group took turns. On one day, between noon and 2 a.m., they consumed 25% of the required daily caloric intake, and the next day, they ate and consumed 125% of the required daily caloric intake. Conclusion? Intermittent fasting was as effective in losing weight as calorie restriction. So if it's hard for you to limit your food intake on a daily basis, intermittent starvation can be an easier way to reduce your food intake without overburdening yourself. Thanks for listening. If you liked and want to hear more, click subscribe and like.